Hey guys, how are you? Today I'm going to do a soft glam look using just some really natural neutral colors, and it's super easy from 0 to 100. I'm starting off spooling my eyebrows and I'm using the MAC lingering eye pencil. It's a little bit warm for my taste, so I'm going to go darker for the next couple videos, but this one works for now. The way I do it is I kind of start in the middle and push it toward the front of the brow, and then I fill up just soft strokes and just building that arch because I really don't have a lot of eyebrow. So this takes so much practice to just get to know your eyebrows and the shape of them. And now I will just draw out the tail, and just like I said, super small strokes, just a little bit at a time to build it up so it looks a little more natural. And I'm also going to do a style of the video where I'm going to do like one side and I'm going to talk in depth of how I'm doing it, and then just because you'll already see that one side being done, I'm going to leave the second side in fast forward mode, so you can just reference to everything that I explained through the first side. And I just keep spooling and combing it in between every little bit that I add just to fill it in. And here's where it starts to go on fast mode, and hopefully we can duplicate that other brow. Yes, brows. So of course, combing it and redoing it and combing it is like the best trick to just really push that product through the brows. Now I'm taking this MAC flat definer brush with the Studio Finish concealer. Those are sold in single pots, but I just have the palette, the Pro palette for my kit. I take that brush because it's super flat and defined, super easy to use to give those brows a little lift and to carve out. I don't go all the way toward the front when I do the top of it, but I just more so take the top of the arch. That way I could really define that, and especially define more the tail of the brow. This concealer is amazing to use, especially for the brows, because it really warms up once it gets into the skin, and it's so easy to blend out and really easy to work with. Now I'm taking my Benefit 24-hour brow setter gel. This stuff is like glue, and however you place the brow hairs, it stays, and it is so good. This is the Becca Skin Perfecting primer, I think, and I'm just gonna prep the skin. I already did my moisturizer and my actual skincare, but this is just what I put on before I use my foundation. It's like an illuminator to give the skin a nice radiance and a healthy glow. This is the Soft Ochre MAC paint pot. I use this pretty much before every time I do an eyeshadow, and I'm gonna apply it with a MAC 242 flat brush. This brush is like probably my favorite brush for multiple uses all over the eye, but I'm just really gonna get it all over the eyelid. I'm gonna marry it between that concealer that I put, and that way there's no space between the brow and concealer. Taking my Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation and my Morphe sponge. I actually really like the Morphe sponge. I have been testing it out, and it's pretty bomb for like super cheap. And of course, my Huda Beauty is my favorite full coverage foundation ever. And of course, I go in with my foundation. It cracks me up when I look at the footage of these videos and how hilarious these faces that I make, because I go so hard really pushing that foundation into the skin. So I hope you guys get a little bit of entertainment out of that. And if you have a nose piercing, I don't know why it's so hard for me to go around, so I always take the brush and just swirl it around the nose ring, because I don't like that ring around the nose that gets like no foundation on it because of the nose ring being like a buffer. So I always take a brush after and kind of smooth it up. And of course too, because I did my brows first, I'm taking the same brush to go around my forehead and my eyebrows, because the sponge is going to be, I feel like it's too thick to put up in that small space. I don't really have a big forehead, so I would worry that it's gonna wipe off my brows if I took the sponge up there, but I just feel like it's more controllable with the brush. And of course, my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, my all-time favorite. I'm in the shade Fair Neutral. I'm gonna buff that out with the same Morphe sponge that I was using. And my favorite setting powder is the LA Girl Pro Powder. I don't know what shade it is. I think it's banana something, but I just dipped the sponge into that and set it. And I don't know why my camera was acting weird, but I am using the Studio Fix powder for setting my foundation. Taking the It Cosmetics. This palette is super cool. It has a bronzer, blush, and highlight, but the bronzer is the anti-aging bronzer. I find that it doesn't look super orange on me, but it's cool for now. If you guys have any suggestions for really fair skin, I really want to try more of a taupey bronzer. That brush is the BH Cosmetics #1 brush with my favorite MAC Warm Soul for the blush. And all I do is just swirl it around on the temples of the cheeks. One of my favorite highlighters is the Too Faced Love Light. It's the lightest shade, I think. Blinded by the Light is the name of it. But it just goes on the skin so smooth, looks so natural. It doesn't just set on the skin like some other highlighters do. But I love it with my Morphe, I think M501 brush. I can't remember, but that's the one I go in for the highlight. Just on the cheekbones, kind of going in, of course, down the nose, getting that Cupid's bow. And then if you're real extra, you can go in with the MAC Hyper Real Glow for a little bit, well, who we're kidding, a lot more of highlight, and just really going in. That MAC palette is super cool. This is an M433 blending brush from Morphe, one of my favorites, with, of course, the Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette. I don't know the names of the eyeshadows, but I try to point them out to you guys so you know which ones. This one's super easy. I think I've only used like 3 eyeshadows for this tutorial, but this is my transition color that I'm just going to buff all over the lid and the crease in small circular motions, just getting it all over. Now with this darker brown shade, I'm going to push it into the outer corner and kind of buff it around after that, back and forth into the crease, just adding a little bit more definition and bringing a little bit more smokiness to the look without going too dark. And with this really light shade, I'm spraying Fix Plus on the MAC 242 brush to really intensify the pigment. And then I'm going to use that for the lid color for a little extra pop of, it's like a pearlescent, like an off-white finish. It's so beautiful. So I'm just going to pat that all over the lid, build it up, and then you can keep spraying your brush if you feel like you need more. Then I'm going to take that dark brown shade again with the M433 brush, just pushing that brown pigment back into there because I felt like I lost some of the darkness and the depth when I put on the lid color. And back with that Too Faced highlight with, this is a MAC brush, but I'm not sure the number. I'm going to highlight the eyebrow or the brow bone, and an M169 brush. It's like a small pencil brush from Morphe. Same thing with that dark brown. I'm just going to smoke out the lower lash line. And I'm working backwards almost. So then I picked up my Morphe M433 brush with the original transition color and going over the brown, smoking that out, popping some inner corner highlight on. And then my Laura Geller Incredible Black Eyeliner, just to deepen up the eye, add a little bit of definition to the waterline. And then I also take this on the top of the lid, just really tight lining the upper lash line, so it kind of gives an extra smoked out look. And I hate doing that, but I think it looks so pretty. But it just, my eyes are so sensitive when I go in with a liner up top. And my Laura Geller Lash Boss mascara. This mascara is super cool. It has two different sides of the wand, one with like longer bristles and one side with shorter bristles. So I just kind of go back and forth and just really get at the root of the lashes until I think that they're long enough for me, and then I'm good to go. But that's about it. And then just getting those bottom lashes. These are the Morphe Malibu lashes. These babies are only $3, you guys, so they are so worth it. They've lasted me a few times already. I went in with the MAC Fresh Clay Lip Tensity lip liner. It's kind of like a pinky neutral. I wanted a little bit of definition between the color I'm going to put on my lips and the liner. So I'm just going to take my sweet ass time trying to get these lips nice and juicy. I'm going to use the Patrick Star collection from MAC. Both shades are She Better Work. And I'm going to go in with the lipstick, which is a little bit of it is a matte lipstick, but it's not super dry and it's really comfortable. I could have just left it like that, but I'm just all about the gloss. So I'm going to take it to that level and top that baby with some gloss.
Going round every party in LA, 'cause you knew that I'd be at one. Oh, I know that dress is karma, perfume regret. You got me thinking about when you were mine. Ooh, and now I'm all up on you.
And of course, setting with some Fix Plus, get some hydration. And that's it, you guys. I hope you like this super easy look. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.
Running around, throwing that dirt all on my name. 'Cause you knew that I'd call you up. You've been going round every party.